All right, we are going to do something a little bit different today. We are going to go over all of the dumb stuff that I have bought for my Paladin. Try to give an accurate representation of how much I've spent on this Paladin, and also discuss how I was able to acquire the gold to do all of this. I've been asked a few times on my Twitch channel, and that is twitch.tv/forward. Twitch.tv/forward. I cannot speak today. Holy crap, I'm keeping this in. Twitch.tv/the Duke of TBC. Oh my god, it's been a long day. So, let's go over all of the crap that I have bought and kind of like start adding all of this up. So first, I have 7 out of 8 of my Paladin Tier 1. I'm just missing the pants. I've spent between 60 and 80 gold on these, so we're just going to do... We're going to give the average, so 7 times 8. Alright. Oh my god, I'm too tired, sorry. 7 times 80. God, it has been a long day. So 560 on that. I spent 1,000 on the Mantle of Blackwing Cabal. This is for my Spellret set, as well as I will use this in Naxxramas on Trash for throwing Holy Waters and Exorcisms. So, plus 1,000. Plus, that was free, that you get from the quest. I don't know why that's not in my bags. I normally keep it in my bags. I believe I paid 80 for one of my tier pants. One of mine were free. One of them I paid 80. So plus 80. Next is... this I got for free. This I overpaid for massively. I got this very early on in AQ. I think either week 2 or week 3. Hold on. Alright, I had to clear my nose. I paid 1.8, so... Alright. Let's see here. The head for Nefarian, I paid 500. The Overlord's Onyx Band, I paid 64. The Royal Karaji Belt, I want to say I paid 320. Hold on, let me move my calculator away. Did that move the calculator on the stream as well? Hold on. No, that kept it right where it was. Excellent. Okay. Super professional today. Okay, so the Cloak of Draconic Might, which I still need to put 3 agility on, I paid 180, which to me is very cheap. It's great. Zandalar was free. Hand of Edward the Odd cost me 150. The enchant at the time, I think, cost me around 100 because of the mats were way more expensive at the time. Leg plates of Blazing Light, that was 100. I remember that because I thought it was super cheap. Gloves of the Righteous Champion. These were, one was 100 and the other was 80. So when we get to the other one, we just have to remember. That was free. Pauldrons of the Unrelenting. I want to believe I paid 200. This was a gift from a friend. Jindo's Bag of Whammies. I believe I paid 60 or it was free. I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of caution because there's lots of stuff that I'm not listing in this expenditure total. Let's see here. The Pendant of the Karaji Guardian. I believe... I want to say I paid around 200. It wasn't a lot. Next was the Gauntlets of Steadfast Determination. I believe this was around 320. These are your best in slot gloves going into TBC. Same with the belt for a Prot Paladin. Let's see here. To clear my nose. I believe I paid 200 for the Elementium Cloak, which I need to put 1% dodge on. So I'll put 200. I think I took it from a druid. Uther's Strength was actually around 50, I believe. It was like 48 maybe, but we're just gonna keep the numbers good. Now this is one of my best purchases to date. I picked up Onslaught Girdle for 220 gold. An absolute steal. Could not believe how cheap I got this item. Alright, that clears that bag. Angelista's Touch, I want to say that I got for 260, if I'm not mistaken. The Onyxia Head, I believe I got for free. Breastplate of Annihilation, I paid 1.5k for. And this was early on, so that was an absolute steal at the time. Cloak was free. At the time of making this Lionheart Helm, the mats altogether were around 900 gold. Obviously, they don't cost that much now, but we're going with what they cost at the time of acquisition. I believe I got this one for free. I know I got one of the ZG rings for free. Quell Sarar, I think I got off the auction house for like 40 gold. It was insanely cheap when I bought it. Like, it was super worth it. Band of Force Concentration. I use this for throwing holy waters, exercising in holy wrathing and Nax. As well as I used it for spell ret sometimes. I believe I paid, I think I only paid around 400 gold. I remember thinking that it was like super cheap at the time, because they were normally going for like well over 1,000. So we're gonna, I believe it was around 400. All right, what is next? Oh yeah, the Stam Agi ring from Nefarian. This I remember I got for 220 because I thought, oh my god, how am I getting this thing so cheap? This was early on, like what the hell? Boots of the Fallen Hero, which are second bis, compared to chromatic boots for an AP build. These, oh man, how much? I think I only paid like 100 for these. It was super cheap. I got them very, very cheap. Because we're not even getting close to in the expensive items. These I paid 64. I paid min bid and an MC. So currently we're at 9,680 gold. And we're not even into my main gear. This is just like superfluous, like random crap that I can't keep myself from buying. Let's see here. So I bought this for 1.3k. And I'm trying to resell it. I did buy the caster one, the spell power, spell crit, shoulder enchant from Saf for 1k, and I flipped it for 2k, so that was pure profit. The Zandalar stuff was in fact free. All of this stuff, I'm not even gonna count consumables yet, because God knows what that is over the course of time. So let's get into my carry gear, my healing gear, like my main stuff. So, the tier 2 shoulders were the last piece of tier 2 that I needed. And the paladins that were in my groups, in my BWL GDKPs, were being absolute monsters because we had gone 2 months without seeing these drop. When they dropped, me and somebody else bid until they bid 1,800 gold. And I just couldn't do it. I let them have it. They got it for 1.8. The following week, I picked these up for 1.3, which is an insane price to pay for Paladin Tier 2, but I was wanting to do carries. I was tired of it not dropping from Chromag, and I had basically decided these things were not getting away from me. And I'm not going to include the price of the enchant, honestly. So these were 80. And it's like, I don't know, the mats are probably close to, at the time, were 45, we'll just say 60. at the time when I got these enchanted. So plus 60. Next is the tier 2.5 boots. If I'm not mistaken, I got these for the low price of 100. Next is one of my favorite items in the game, and it is the mace from Cthulhu. So this is a huge one because the week before I bought this item sold for 10,000 gold the week before I bought this. So it dropped again 2 weeks in a row, and I purchased it for 2,420. Blaze it. An incredibly cheap price. And I believe the mats for this were like somewhere around like 60 gold, so whatever. So this was a huge pickup for a cheap price. These were the plate healing shoulders. These are just pretty common, the mantles. I believe I picked these up for 80 or 100. We'll just say 80 because we're not counting. We're not going to add up the shoulder enchants anyways. But I believe those were 80. Next was the healing neck. I want to say I got this for 120. Wait, did I say what I got this for? Wait, did I say what I got this for? I don't think I did. All right, whatever. Who cares? Next is the Boots of Prophecy. Those were 80. I got those for a min bid because they're garbage, and I haven't replaced them yet because whatever. Hero Charm, free. Tanking Ring, I got this for, I believe, around 240, I believe. Because I'm going to be going into TBC as Prot. I'm going to be leveling as Prot Paladin. Free. This, I want to say I paid 400 for the tier 2 chest. Because people were just being jerks about it, and I wanted it. Let's see here. Hide of the Wild at the time of its creation, I think was around 300 gold in mats, so we'll just go ahead and throw that out there. So plus 300. This I bought off the auction house for 45 gold when blue sapphires were like 60 gold, so I don't know why they listed it that cheap, but we'll take it. Let's see here. Tier 2 pants, like I said, one was 60, one was free. Hand of Justice was free. Second Wind was free. The Ring of the Martyr, Azeta was very kind to not bid me up on this. I got it for 1,000. Very reasonable for one of the best healing rings in the game. Because I still don't have better healing bracers, because they won't drop off of the Twin Emps, and I am still trying to get the Tier 3 token. I paid 80. I paid minimum bid for those bracers, because why not? And then probably like another, 40 gold for the mats. Who cares? Next is the belt from the Twin Emps as well. This was a slight upgrade over the other item. I think I paid 100. I didn't pay much. So we'll throw 100. Alright. So next, amazing item going into TBC. If I don't get Face of Death, then this is going to be an incredible item. This, I believe, cost me 800. This one was actually a pretty recent acquisition, but I believe it was 800. So plus 800. Next was the legs. I got those, I'm pretty sure, from min bid. Nobody cared about those. Robes of the Guardian Saint. Amazing best in slot. If you're not going to use T3, because like 70 healing and 7 MP5 and stats is absolutely godlike. These I want to say I paid 500 for because I was surprised by how cheap I got them. Next is the Scrolls of Blinding Light. These I paid 320 for, I remember, because they are so insanely good and usable in TBC. Next was Empowered Leggings. These cost 500, and the enchant on them cost 520. So that's going to be 1,020. Let's see here. Next is going to be the tier 2.5 Helm. I believe I paid 100, rock bottom price. Next is the T3 gloves. I want to say I didn't pay much. I think I only paid like 400 for these. So that was very cheap. Now this is one of like the dumbest purchases. One of the ones I regret. Wait, no, yeah, this is the breastplate. This is one of the dumbest purchases I made because I barely play Ret. But you do use this for pally tanking. Your 5 of 5 Avengers set is insanely good. So I got this fairly early on, and unfortunately this token is shared with Warriors. So I had to bid against Warriors. But I bought it for 2K, which was, if I had just waited longer, I could have gotten it for like half the price or less, but I'm dumb. I throw gold around like an idiot, and that's what it is. Shield I got from minimum bid. That was 80. Styling's Impeding Scarab. I bought this incredibly early on, and this was in one of my other videos for every Paladin to please, for the love of God, pick up this item. I believe I got it for 220, and people are now paying thousands for it. Epic writing, or actually no, buying the mount. I believe these are what, 640? 640? Because it doesn't require training. Next, this was picked up this weekend. I paid a lot for this, but nowhere near as much as I've seen others pay for it. I've seen this go for over 7,000. I paid 5.3. So this is a must-have item for doing carries, especially going into TBC. The Pimp Hat from AQ40, I paid 500 for. Because again, I was surprised by how cheap I got the Pimp Hat for. Okay, so not even going at the gear that I am currently wearing or things that I've DE'd over time, we are almost at 30,000 gold spent on just random crap for my Paladin. This is way more than I thought it was going to be. I have made terrible decisions. Oh my god. Okay, we'll close that. We'll open this, and we'll get the get some of the final tally. Let me move my calculator. So, Tier 2 Helm was free. The enchant on the helmet was actually only 100 gold, because I bought it way early on in ZG when everybody was running it, and people didn't know how valuable these things were. Choker of the Fire Lord, that was a cool 1,500. I remember the person who tried to bid me up, I dropped it on them, and then he sold it to me for 1,500. Tier 2.5 Shoulders, I want to say that I actually paid like 120, a little bit over. Because I bid 80, they bid 100, I bid 120, and that was it. They didn't go any higher than that. Cloak of the Devoured from Cthulhu, huge item that most casters wish they could have. This I picked up for I want to say 3.3. I know it's for a little over 3K, so we'll just go 3.3. So, plus... Oof, this is adding up. Next is the Demon Forge Breastplate. At the time when I had this made, I was selling these for around 250 gold. So I made this, but it still has a value if I had have sold it for 250. So we'll add that in. The bindings, I believe I paid 100 for. The Judgment Gauntlets, I want to say I think I paid 200 actually. And then for the enchant, it was going to be like another like 40 gold. So 240. Jesus. The belt was cheap, 100. I knew it was like one over minimum bid. So plus 100. Next, the Trash Drop Legs from Nax Ramus. I paid minimum bid. None of the Paladins knew better. I got that for minimum bid, 100. So the boots. The boots, actually, I paid a decent amount for because, again, for like weeks, they were refusing to drop In BWL, I paid $320 for those. God, we are over the 35,000 mark. This is absurd. Ring of Spell Power, I believe I got, I want to say Phase 2. I can't remember exactly when I got it, but I remember that I got it for what I considered was cheap at the time, was a cool 640 gold. The Spell Power Ring from the Eye of Cthulhu Turn-In. Now this was an absolute steal. I got this from the second week of doing AQ40 GDKPs. It was the second week we'd ever run it. And I got this for 1,000 gold. Since I got this for 1,000 gold in the Rug Merchants raids, this had never, ever, ever gone for even close to that low ever again. People realized how amazing the items were, and the fact that because it's a GDKP and it's not the same 40 people coming every week, the chances of them getting the item was not 1 in 40, like, oh, I'll just get it eventually. No, no, no. It was a pain to get. Force of Will was free. One of my, probably still the most favorite item that I have ever had, and I still love it, is Nelth's Tier. I still get hate messages from casters for having this. So, funny story, when the month that I got this, there were 4 tiers that had sold in that, like, 3-week period. One sold for 10,420 gold, blaze it. One sold for 8,000, and one sold for, I believe, around 7,500. So I came into the BWL with a little bit over 9,000 gold and around 3,000 to 4,000 in line of credit. People who said they would be willing to loan me if 9,000 wasn't enough. But somehow, I don't know if all of the casters just had blown their load, if they just were all poor that day. I paid 3,200 for Nelth's Tier, and I couldn't freaking believe it. So 40,000 at this point. Locomir, I was bid up by a druid, and I paid 4,300. Good lord. Skullflame Shield at the time, I bought it for 250. I think when I got this enchanted, the mats together were around 250. Like, I got it at a time where it was incredibly expensive for the mats. The golden pearls were going for like 60. The greater eternals were going for like 10. It was awful. It was super awful when I got that enchanted. And then Librum of Grace, I paid 300 on the dot for. So this isn't including multiple items. Like, there's probably, just for the sake, there's probably about 500 gold of stuff that I've bought in Disenchanted over time. We'll just add 500 to that for all the miscellaneous things that I've bought and DE'd and are no longer in use. So just in gear purchasing alone in GDKPs, I have spent 45,815 gold. Holy crap, that is a number when I think about it for a Paladin. That's like the prices that people pay for Gressels and THCs, and funnily enough, actually, on Tuesday server, there were 2 people in a AQ40 having a bidding war for Gauntlets of Annihilation. And I'm not going to say these guys had credit cards backing them up, but the winning bid was 45,000 gold for the Gauntlets of Annihilation. 45,000 gold for one item, and it was Gauntlets of Annihilation. To put that in comparison, my Gauntlets of Annihilation that I bought on Dolgarg were 3,800. Now, this is somebody who is a well-known, he apparently walks around gold-capped all the time. He's always gold-capped, so that is on another level. So this doesn't count consumes, this doesn't count paying for DMTs or summons, or any, like, the other enchants. There's plenty of stuff that I am just simply not remembering that could be added into this. So 45,000 800 plus gold, probably closer to 50k once you cycle in all of the mana pots, all of the mage bloods, all of the just the tons and tons and tons of consumes that I've used over the year. I'm sure I've spent around 4,000 gold on consumables quite easily. Now, of course, I've got items that I've purchased from my mage, items I've purchased from my warrior. So this number of, like, the amount that I've spent is definitely way, way higher. Especially considering yesterday or Tuesday's Nax, I spent over 300 gold in consumables on my warrior just in one night. So I get asked about, like, what is my build for carrying. This is my carry build. If I'm going up against undead, then I throw down on the 2 undead spell power trinkets. So then people ask, Duke, on stream they asked, how do you make this much gold? You don't even have a level 60 mage. You're not selling Mara runs. You're not farming Zul'Farrak. You're not farming ZG. And your boosts are free. We've done the math on stream. I've literally donated over 14,000 gold worth of runs on my stream. Now, some people give me gold here and there, but it's probably only equated to less than 500 gold from doing stock runs. So, how do I do it? How do I make the gold to afford this stuff? So, one of the ways I did this very early on, because when Classic was announced, I knew that I wanted to have a Paladin, and I knew I wanted to play Alliance because I knew of an armor called the Demon Forge Breastplate that I use for my carries. And it's really only useful for Alliance side, for Paladins, until TBC comes out. And I knew from watching old videos, because I was Horde side in Vanilla all those years ago. I think I had watched an old WoW Hobbs video back in the day, but I knew the Demon Forge Breastplate was going to be an incredible item, and I knew not many people were even going to know of its existence or even how to make the damn thing. And I knew that you had to go be an armor smith, you had to go out to Winterspring and talk to the demon, go to Upper Blackrock Spire. There's an ordeal behind it. So I set out to be the guy who sells Demon Forge breastplates. So for a long time, I was the only person on the server who was selling these. And I was selling them for 300 gold a piece. That means I was spending around between 5 to 10 gold per blue sapphire. Star rubies I would get from mining myself. And thorium was 2 gold a stack at the time, sometimes less. Barely figures in. So I would go and farm the demonic runes myself. And when I would sell the armors, they would be around 250 gold in profit. And then I could farm around a stack of demonic runes per hour, if I was lucky, sometimes hour 15 minutes. And in that time, I was also getting Mage Weave, I was getting Rune Cloth, I was getting random greens, random blues, sometimes random purples, just because the sheer amount of demons I was killing. And I was also getting Cloth. So when my armors were selling at a good pace, I was essentially earning 500 gold per hour for my farming. And if I sold 3 to 5 armors per week, that's a lot of gold on top of the other stuff, so I wouldn't really have to farm that often. I just had to keep a constant supply of demon forges going. So a huge amount of my gold earned came from being the guy. I am the guy who, on my server, who makes Demon Forge breastplates. That has paid for a vast amount of the shenanigans I've done on this Paladin, the gold wasting I've done, and the fun that I've had to have since playing Paladin. So aside from that, there's a few other things that I do. One of those is flipping mats. So Goblin Sapper charges on my server sell between 3 gold 25 to 4 gold, depending on the time of the week and, you know, just supply and demand. So I have so much mage weave from killing the satyrs, that's an infinite supply. I'm never going to use it all up. Solid stone is often incredibly cheap because people are farming earth elementals out in Badlands literally 24/7 to get elemental earth. The solid stone is a byproduct of that farm. They throw it on the auction house cheap just so it goes away. And then the rest is mithril. Mithril is rather pricey right now, but I can go out to the Badlands and farm a couple stacks of mithril in an hour. So then I take the solid stone that I get from going into the Badlands, I buy a bunch of solid stone off the auction house, and then I proceed to make stacks and stacks of Goblin Sapper charges. They are incredibly useful. People still use them, and they are still going to be useful once TBC drops because people are still going to use them in dungeons because it's amazing AoE damage. So, flipping mats. I'm not going to go into the other items that I specifically sell, although honestly I'm not big enough. So, Brilliant Wizard Oil, Brilliant Mana Oil, sometimes I would do Rune Cloth Bags. Basically what you need to do is look at the auction house, and this is very easy to do if you're an alchemist. I don't have alchemy. I've been meaning to do it, I just haven't. Go on the auction house, look for the materials to make something that is in very high demand that gets used week over week. Mongoose potions, mana and wizard oils, elemental sharpening stones. I've made a killing off of flipping elemental earth and dense stones into elemental sharpening stones. So look for things that are constantly being used, that people never seem to get enough of, and see if you can do the added value of making those items with your profession. Because people do not like to go and buy the materials, go find somebody to make it, tip that person for making it. If they look at the items on the auction house and see that, say that making a Mongoose potion is 7 golden materials, and the Mongoose potions are 8 gold, 50 silver, they're just going to buy the Mongoose potion. It's not worth the gold 50 to many people to go and try to find someone to make it. So look for margins that are good enough for you to actually flip and make gold off of those items. Now, this can always be dangerous. The market could bottom out. Other people could see what you're doing, and they might notice as well that you're flipping a lot of mats. When you're flipping the mats, the price of the mats could go up. There's all sorts of things that can lead to this being difficult. You just need to be careful. And like I said, I often push for going for those items that are used every week during a raid. Aside from that, it's really mostly just that, flipping materials into consumables. And then the Demon Forge breastplates have really subsidized most of the nonsense that I've been able to do during WoW Classic. If you're a mage, obviously being able to do Mara carries is amazing gold per hour. ZG is amazing gold per hour. But me, I find mage to be boring. I never finish mine. And I thought I would just, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Here's how much I've spent on this paladin, and here is how I make my gold. So, if you would like to get free carries or have any questions about paladin or boosting or questions about TBC coming up, come visit me on the stream. I stream every single day, 9 p.m. PST, sometimes earlier for raids and GDKPs, but 9 p.m. server is when I normally start the free boosts. Twitch.tv/the Duke of TBC. We have a good time. It's basically ask me anythings, we listen to music, and we just chat while people get free experience or watch the raids. But I think that's going to do it for me. I hope you found the video enlightening, and I hope to see you guys on stream, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later!